Welcome. We are back on the Modern Mystery School podcast and YouTube channel. And again, Julia is with us. And today she's going to be talking about Journeys of the Spirit and why it's such an important class. Julia, hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Now, Julia, Journeys of the Spirit, again, is another class that is open to everybody. It's a full day class. And it is Journeys of the Spirit could mean many different things. And it's just a one-day class. But can you tell us why it's so important and why people have such huge shifts in this class?
I mean, okay, it's huge. So I will say, yes, the journeys are forms of meditation, which I had never done ever then before putting my foot into this class. What happens in this day class is you learn a particular technique that gets you in contact with something we call the higher self. Now, the higher self, another term for that could be your highest intelligence within you, the inner navigator, your inner teacher, the one that kind of knows what's really, really going on in your life at any one given moment. So, just put yourself into your life and just imagine that day where there's everything pulling you from all different sides. It could be kids and bosses and just time and laundry and whatever. You're being pulled in 100 different directions. And it's super easy in that moment to just lose understanding. You may have had on a piece of paper your goals for the day, but those goals are still very much things we do in this world. What I found revolutionary is I didn't know this was possible, so this blew my mind. So once I learned the technique, I then brought it into my life. So besides the day being completely mind-blowing, which we'll talk about, but then I brought the technique into my life. And every day I'd use it 10, 20 minutes, and I'd speak to this higher intelligence, my higher self, and I'd get an overarching kind of guidance for what the day was really about, from a growth, spiritual, emotional, from the deepest part of myself, not the everyday busy part of myself. So that meant that while I was navigating the demands of everyday life and the work, and I remember being in film industry and be a director pulling you and a producer pulling you, and just you've got all these different directions. Everyone wants a piece of chunk of flesh out of you, right? And I remember being so calm, so in my center, so together, because I knew what that day was really about from within the deepest part of me. So the incredible thing is, when you go through the whole class, you're developing a relationship with this higher self, or this internal navigator, this internal intelligence inside of you, which already changes you, because you're finally oh my goodness, I know I know myself better. I know what's going on. I'm connected. I'm connected to myself. But then taking that into your life, you feel fine that you're in the center of the storm. You kind of know what's going on. You know what's important. And I was thinking to myself before I did in Journeys of the Spirit, I may have hit those moments of meditation, maybe like creating art, working through the night, and these really key peak moments, maybe even some cross country I used to do. But with this technique, 10, 20 minutes, you're getting what you need, and you can do it at will, So it's incredible, and it takes a day. By the end of that day, there's no one has any doubt how to go ahead, and the next morning starts straight away. It's very chunky. It's a very meaty class.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like it for several other reasons as well. I like it for people, people say, oh, I have a really hard time meditating. Well, if you do this class for one day, you will have no problem meditating after that. It's a boot camp, really, for building that muscle. It's like connecting. I love that. And also, I may be controversial here. Am I opening a can of worms? Probably. But people, when they talk about journeying, they tend to use other substances to help them. And I always say, why don't you just take Journeys of the Spirit? Number one, you're going to get all of the revelations that you need. with
Yeah.
no extra substances, and it's a one-day class. I mean, you're using real magic, you're using lineage. That's, you're getting all that. I mean, am I the only one that thinks that? I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of efficient, isn't it? I mean, we've been hearing this byline, the answers lie within you. And my own byline is find the gold within, because it is inside of us. But we need tools just to unlock it. And oh my goodness, I can sit in my own space. I can go into a garden and I can do it. I can go into the park, I can do it. I can do it in my bedroom. And I can literally, without having to then mitigate detox symptom, and without having to go into all of that, I've got it on tap inside of me. I mean, it's super. I always think the word economical in terms of time. Like for me, it's super economical, it's super efficient, it's super accurate. There's nothing to influence or shift or my mind. It's literally coming from the purest side, purest part of me. I mean, it's I mean, I just think of it as being smart. I mean, genuinely, I just think it's a very smart approach, and it's just super great when people can learn this technique. And as you so rightly said, if you don't know how to meditate, I mean, I didn't. I had no clue, and walked out of that class. Oh, I know how to meditate. It just is so quick. Yeah, both those points. I think that's brilliant. I hadn't thought about that aspect of journeying, but it's like, this is the bomb. I might be also slightly controversial, but I do think of it that way.
Yeah, I think you and I are very lucky that we're kind of old school mystery school um, initiates. So we've had all this from the word dot, and we
Yeah,
simply,
yeah,
we have all these. So we perhaps take it for granted, but that's why I wanted to do these interviews, is to share. People, you can have these revelations, you can have this connection to the divine, you can, have all of
yeah.
these keys. It's all there, and like you say, because it's a lineage, because it's magical, because we've been doing this for over 3,000 years, it's super efficient, super quick. So, I mean, it's one day.
I mean, one more thing, just to end up, I have notes that I took in the very first class, like information I received, symbols I received, messages, for myself. It has started a long journey of discovery. Like some things I received got absolute clarity, some things were mysteries, and this unfolding kept happening. And like I have kept growing the more I do it. I mean, it's just amazing how you just build on it. It doesn't get weaker over time. It gets more magical over time. And I think that was it for me. It was just so magical. I didn't need anything else. It was like so magical. This is incredible.
Thanks so much, Julia. I love that. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us again. And I know you'll be back again talking to us about other classes and such like. Thanks so much. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.